Good morning and welcome to the Dark Monotype run on the Retrobrown channel. This is day 2 and my god, that grass run yesterday was unbelievably difficult. Yeah, don't do a grass mono run in Johto, you will fail instantly because you cannot get past Falconer without over leveling past the level cap. Hopefully we're going to have a different story today though, so one thing we need to make sure we need to make sure that we start this game at night time, and that is very crucial because there are you'll know which Pokemon I'm going to be going for. One of them is on the thumbnail, and we are going to start off with Houndour. Why Houndour? I've proven on my solo run with Houndour that it actually can get through the very first gym. Profit Lot, you are going to be our Houndour / Houndoom for today. Thank you for being here and welcome. And thanks for all the comments in the videos. You've been a great help and great subscriber. So yeah. Reason why we want to start off with it being nighttime is because we are using the dark type Pokemon, and that actually affects which Pokemon we can get, because this game introduced the day and night cycle, and playing this game at nighttime yields different Pokemon in the wild. So as you saw there, Spinarak would be one of them, only appears at nighttime. Hoothoot as well has got a higher chance to appear at nighttime as well, but it can appear in the day. But yeah, some of the Pokemon we're going to get, mostly you're going to be finding them at nighttime, so we need to play this game completely twilight. So, Houndour is a great Pokemon to start off with. Yes, you don't normally start off with it or find it in the early game. You usually find it in the post game because Johto decided, nah, we're not going to put some Johto Pokemon in Johto, we're going to put them in Kanto in the post game. And that's not going to really fly with us. So, if I was going to choose a different Pokemon to start off with, it probably would have been Umbreon, but again, it's a second stage evolution, and that's, again, don't want to do that. We're going to get an Eevee later on, so we'll make sure we get an Umbreon later on as well. Once we beat the rival down pretty comfortably, because we have given them Chikorita to start off with, we will name our rival for today. And this is going to be Moro Gentile. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. It's been a while since you first subscribed, but I'm glad you're here. So the next Pokemon that we're going to get won't be for a little while anyway, so we need to just deal with the early game with only Houndour. And of course that's a big problem because the very first gym's level cap is only level 9. So we need to get through all of his gym trainers without even over leveling, but that's kind of difficult with some of the mandatory fights you need to go against. And of course that also means that Profit Lot will die at level 6. So we go up to level 7, we get much better luck this time because we get a burn from Ember. And that is crucial because Spearo's got decent attack stats and Peck is stab damage as well. And that is literally the only reason how we got through that fight. Let's see if that's the same thing for Falconer though. Falconer of course got Pidgey and he's got Pidgeotto. And as long as we can get through the first Pidgey without taking much damage, we should be okay for the Pidgeotto. The best attacks are going to be Mudslap and Gust. And yeah, it really shows that you need to be beating that Pidgey as quick as possible. This time round on the second we've gone up to level 9 at the level cap and we get a burn on the very first Ember, which is perfect. This means that we've got more HP to work with for the Pidgeotto and of course we outspeed, giving us the win. That's perfect, the level cap goes up level 16 and we progress better with the run. Another good reason to start off with Houndour as well is because it is a fire type in the first couple of gyms. Fire type was really good against, so yeah, might as well use it. Also, we need to contend with the hikers in Union Cave because, yeah, we've got a lot of rock types, and if we get hit by a rock throw, that is going to do big damage to us. Plus, we only have Mudslap and Ember to really use to get through these fights. And it is a bit of a slog, but you can get through just using Ember because Geodude's special is not very good whatsoever. We also need to make sure that we don't go against as many optional trains as possible because, for example, Hiker Anthony, his Geodude has got Rock Throw, and even Tackle, yeah, it completely just trashed on us. So we try a few times to get through him, past him, but every single time he decides to look at us until this took me about half an hour to get past him because he just kept looking at us as soon as we moved. We need to keep our level cap down because the next gym leader coming up is going to be Bugsy and his level cap is 16. And there's still quite a few mandatory fights we need to do to get past him. So, pretty much on these rule sets as well, as long as I go into the fight at level 16, that is technically fine on the rule sets. It's just, if I went to the fight at level 17, I could not do that. I'd have to reset and try again. But we go into this at level 15, and thankfully with Ember on our moveset, we can get through his Cypher not too easily. Fury Cutter does do super effective damage, but because of the fire typing, it doesn't do, well, super effective is neutral to us, but still a powerful move, especially when it accumulates damage. But thankfully this time he gets a miss on it, and we can get through and take out his Kakuna extremely easily. That means the level cap now has gone to level 20, and we can go against the Azalea Town rival, which is easily the hardest rival in the game, in my opinion. If you don't believe me, go and play Pokémon Gold again and tell me what you think about it compared to other fights. So, again, we haven't even got the move Bite yet, and we are taking out his Pokemon pretty comfortably with Ember. Again, I don't think this would have actually been possible if we'd chosen any other Pokemon as the rival's starter apart from Chikorita. Plus, I don't really show much love for Chikorita on this channel, and I might as well do it here. Because it poisons us, uses Razor Leaf, we don't take much damage, we get an easy win, pretty low leveled. And that means we can now go through Arctic's Forest, chase the Farfetch'd around because this is a weird little minigame, and then head into Goldenrod where we are going to go to the casino. Reason why? There's some really good moves that we want to get here, and I gambled a lot, we spent a lot of time here. Finally though, we can get the move Fire Blast, and that is going to be very key to taking on Whitney. Now, I said we were going to get our new team member very soon. Well, that actually can't happen until after Goldenrod. There are no Dark-type Pokemon we can pick up before Whitney. So again, Houndour is once again soloing the next gym. And this is the whole reason why we needed Fire Blast. Fire Blast is just ridiculously powerful for this point in the game. We even get Burn on that Clefairy, and we take it down without only taking 4 points of damage. That then brings in the Miltank, and mainly we are hoping for a burn, but 2 rollouts will just decimate us. So what do? Well, it's all we got to do. We got to hope for hope for a burn. That is all we literally can do. When the Miltank comes out, we're actually we are gonna go for Fire Blast. If we can get the burn, we are solid. But rollout also can miss. It's not 100% accurate. And with 2 Fire Blasts, we can get the 3rd badge and level up to level 25. That means as well, very soon we can also get ourselves a Houndour, which is perfect because it is such a good Pokemon for this generation. From there we can also pick up the Squirt Bottle, and that will get us to Ecruteak City, and also we're going to beat up Psychic Greg again because I don't like this guy. But we actually have the perfect type to actually take him down very comfortably. We're still going to use our Fire type moves though, because I don't see Fire roll too often in this generation. With getting ourselves into Ecruteak, we actually start off the first part of this little side quest to actually get the Eevee. First you go to Ecruteak, find Bill, then head all the way back to Goldenrod and find him in his house. From here he will give you an Eevee, and it's now just a case of leveling it up so we can actually get ourselves an Umbreon. And you have to make sure that you have to level it up at night, otherwise it will evolve into an Espeon. We call our Eevee Mike. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. And then we'll go to level it up into Umbreon. Umbreon is a great Dark-type Pokemon. It is an incredible tank, like incredibly tanky. Not the best physically attacking or special attacking, but that tankiness is exactly what we need. And it's great because the next gym coming up is the Ghost-type gym, and we have finally got another super effective matchup. Profit Lot is just going to sweep through this, get as many levels up as possible, because the level cap is 25 and we're only around about level 21, 22. We beat Sage Ping, we head into the next fight, and by the very last trainer, which are all mandatory in his gym, do we finally level up to level 24, and this means Houndour will evolve into a Houndoom. If you're wondering how you can get yourself named as a Pokemon on one of these videos, drop yourself down in the comment section, let me know which Pokemon you want to be named as. So yeah. Anyway, Morty is next, and this should be an easy sweep for us guys. Very easy sweep. Bite is pretty much a one-shot on all of his Pokemon. Even the Haunter, they don't even get a chance to set up Hypnosis, to set up Curse. Only the Gengar can tank a Bite, and this becomes an incredibly easy gym leader for us to tackle. With 4 gym badges in tow, you might be wondering what the next Pokemon is we're going to pick up. Well, again, it's going to be a little while before we can pick that guy up. It's probably going to be a little while before we can pick up the rest of our team anyway, because a lot of the Dark-type Pokemon in Johto are locked behind the post game. Anyway, let's see how we do against the rival in the Burnt Tower, just as a little side quest, because Moro Gentle here has itself pretty good team. Honestly, I actually rate the team that the rival has in this game more than the rival has in Gen 1. It's more varied, it's like trickier to take down, especially with Magnemite getting the Steel type in this generation. And yeah, there's a lot of status effects thrown in. Thankfully though, that's another good reason for having a Houndoom. We can take his Pokemon out pretty comfortably with fire type moves. So you might be wondering which of the monotypes are going to be coming up next this month. Well, we are going to do a video per day this month, as we've done every year since I started this channel. And that means we're going to get through the entire monotypes series in this first half of the month. Later half of this month though, we are going to be doing a lot of challenge runs, just as something different for the channel. And based off what I got last year for like my month of Retrobrown, which now we're calling RB-Sember, it means that those challenge runs will actually grow the channel. They massively grew the channel last year, so might as well do this, and then we'll start talking about what we're going to do next year in 2026. Bloody hell, 2026 already. I was born in the 90s, so thinking that it's 2026, like it is closer right now to 2020, like 2050, than it is to the year 2000. That is a crazy thought to think. And I was born in the 90s, so that makes it even scary for me. Anyway, we're going to head ourselves over to Cianwood City, which is going to be a difficult one for us because out of the few weaknesses that the Dark type does have, fighting is one of them, and we need to be careful in this next gym. Of course, the other weakness we do have is the Bug type, but we've already beaten that gym, and to be fair, with us having the Houndour to start off with, we didn't worry too much about it. Because of the fire type the Houndour does have, it neutralised the bug weakness that we had. And there's not many other bug type Pokemon or fights that you need to contend with in the rest of this game after Bugsy. The Dojo Brothers in Chuck's gym are a bit of a nightmare because you have to fight them back to back. The Hitmonlee is definitely a lot stronger than the Hitmonchan, but getting through both of them at once without even healing is a bit of a problem when you're on a solo run or have a team that is weak to the fighting type. Once we beat them though, we will head over to Chuck and we will see how we do against his fighting team. Still really annoys me that Chuck never got the fighting type Pokemon introduced in this generation. Like, why can't you give him a Hypnontop instead of the Primeape or the Poliwrath? It does annoy me, but Game Freak for you. We start off with Profilot, who's going to try and take down as much HP on the Poliwrath as possible. We get a lucky burn before we get taken down by Surf, but that makes way for Mike to come in, who can do a few Shadow Balls and get the win. So, not all too bad. We are under the level cap by a couple of levels. And the level cap here is weird because even though you've just beaten the 5th gym, it only goes up by 1 level unless you decide to go against Jasmine, which it goes up to level 35. Once we've picked up Fly, I think because we've got Houndoom, it's going to be a better choice to go against Jasmine now. And then we'll head over to Mahogany City after that. So, once we've gone back up the lighthouse, we throw the secret potion down Ampharos's throat. It's finally better, and we can head over to the Olivine gym. Now, this honestly, again, will be an easy matchup for us. Houndoom is such a good Pokemon for a Johto player. You have no idea how good it is. Good thing as well, Houndoom is also quite fast, and considering all of our Pokemon are weak to fire type moves, we've got an easy ride here. We're level 28, we're 7 levels below her ace, and we can one-shot it with a Fire Blast. This was such a short, quick fight, and I recommend starting your Dark type run with a Houndour. You'll have a much better time. So, I've had a few comments recently where I was looking at which order to do these monotype runs with. Last year I did it based on wheel choices, so a randomiser wheel chose which Pokemon we did each day. This time I'm kind of just winging it of which ones I want to do which day. Pretty much, I'm starting to feel like the randomizer wheel idea is... it's kind of losing its appeal, really. People like certain Pokemon. You can definitely see on my channel there's certain solo runs. They don't get the best engagement compared to others. Like, everyone's got the favourites, but I feel like the randomizer wheel is starting to lose its appeal, really. So in the next year, when we actually start doing solo runs again, I'll finish off the Gen 2 runs using the randomiser wheel, but after that, probably just go see which Pokemon you actually want me to do a solo run with. And of course, I want to do more monotype runs and other challenge runs in different generations. So we'll see. Honestly, just put down in the comments what sort of challenge you would like to see, and I will try and organise it for 2026. Enough chatting anyway. We have got ourselves to the Lake of Rage, and we are still under-leveled massively. Mike goes down to the Red Gyarados, and that brings in Profit Lot, who doesn't have a great type matchup here. Thankfully, it put itself into Thrash, and we can take a win there, but if we'd been hit by one more Thrash, that would have been an L for us. With us now starting off the Rocket side quest here, we need to go and see Lance again. And of course, we see one of our favourite moments in Gen 2, which is him hyper beaming a random guy into the wall. In the Rocket hideout as well, there are a few things that we can pick up. There is a protein, there's the Thief TM, and the Thief TM might be useful because it is a dark type move, but there aren't many Pokemon in this generation that actually hold a held item. I actually don't know if there are any whatsoever that hold a held item in this generation, which is kind of weird considering this is the generation that introduced that mechanic, and they didn't utilise it as far as I'm aware. Either way, at the end of the Rocket side quest in Mahogany Town, you have to go against one of the executives, and this executive is not a problem whatsoever, really. Fire Blast will take down most of our Pokemon pretty comfortably, and we get a little glimpse of which Pokemon we'll be looking out for in the future. Gloom then comes out next, and it manages to evade the Fire Blast, and we ran out of PP now, so we ember it into the ground, and we head out to face the 7th gym. 7th gym, again, not going to be too much of a problem to us. Even though there's not a massive amount of things that Dark type can hit super effectively, the Ice type isn't really one of them, neither's the Ground type. At level 30 we can also learn the move Feint Attack, which if you've never used it before, it's basically the Dark type Swift. That means that we've got a move that can hit without fail regardless of accuracy drops, and we've got stab bonus on it, so I'm very happy with that inclusion. So with the Rocket side quest completed in Mahogany Town, we go into Price's Gym. Price's Gym, it's weird. Like, I don't understand why they decided to put the 7th gym with Pokemon under level 30. It's weird. Like, I've talked a lot about the level curve in this game on many of my Johto videos, so I'm not going to go into it here, but it's kind of weird. That's all I can really say. Mike goes absolutely crazy in this fight. We are definitely at level 31. We're still actually at the level cap for Chuck, so I'm quite proud that these two Pokemon can actually do it very under-leveled compared to the rest of the game. Although I say under-leveled, we are just at the level cap, to be there. Mike is great with its utility moves, so Confuse Ray is a fantastic move to pick up with it being a 100% accurate chance to confuse the opponent. It does go down to the Pile Swine, but it's done more than enough because Profit Lot's got a super effective new move here, and we take the 7th badge. Pushing the level cap up to level 40, but we've got a little bit of work we need to do before we can even go against the last gym leader. And that of course is the dreaded Rocket side quest. I do not enjoy this part of the game. I will not go on about it. I just don't enjoy it. There's a lot of oddities to it that don't make sense to me, and the imposter guy here is one of them, who has a team of 5 Coffins and a Weezing. Legitimately, I don't think if anyone's ever tried this competitively, you are unhinged. You are very unhinged. And yeah, who would want 5 Coffins and a Weezing? Anyway, it's not that hard to take down with this team. I mean, even though we are losing a lot of HP thanks to poison damage, Umbreon is tanking it like a champ. Managed to take down half his team before the Weezing comes out, and we get a Confuse Ray off just before we fall from poison damage. It's done more than enough, and that was enough for Profit Lot to come back in, Fire Blast his way to victory, and then we'll head on to the rival on the Underground. How are you guys finding the videos so far this month anyway? I hope you're enjoying them. My monotype runs seem to get a lot more engagement than my solo runs, so it might explain why I'm trying to shift my focus a bit next year. But I hope you're enjoying them, and I hope you're enjoying the lead up to Christmas right now. Rival on the Underground is not that much of a problem, really. Dark-type is actually a strong typing to be using against his team. Not so much against the Golbat because it's poison flying, we don't really have anything super effective to take it down. Magnemite though is a bit of a problem because it is steel type. It does have resistance to our moves. So when we get paralyzed, we switch into Profit Lot, hits itself Confusion, and we take it down with Fire Blast. That then brings in Meganium, and that's an easy kill for us. I'm kind of thinking I should have chose a different starter Pokemon, but hey ho, I get to choose these videos. Anyway, finally Sneasel comes out, and you may be looking at yet another potential Pokemon for our team. Yeah, coming up very soon, hopefully. Anyway, that brings us to the top of the radio tower in the last two fights against the Rockets before the side quest is completed. And this is a very easy fight for us. Yes, I've still got Quick Attack on my Umbreon at this stage in the game. It's useful to just like chip away at the final little bit of HP from the Pokemon. It still has its uses. Priority moves are pretty good. We see another future Pokemon in like facing us down here, and yeah, Shadow Ball's not going to do super effective damage on it, so it's all on Profit Lot now to take it down. We beat that Executive and we go against the final one, who incidentally is more of a Dark type trainer than anything else. So it is Houndoom against Houndour. We're going to go for our feint attacks just to make sure we definitely hit them. And that brings in the Coffin, goes down to a Fire Blast. That next brings out the Houndoom, and it is Houndoom v Houndoom. And we are definitely a lot stronger than our brethren here. So, because we don't use stupid moves like Smog, we are going to easily take it down. With the Rocket side quest completed, we can now head over to Blackthorn City, but before Blackthorn City you have the Icy Path. The Icy Path yields our next team member. So when we actually find it, we can pick ourselves up as Sneasel, the Dark Ice type Pokemon from this generation. I love this guy. Sneasel is such a good Pokemon. It's fast, it's Ice type, which is going to be good for Lance later, and it just looks cool as hell. But it did not want to stay in the Great Balls that I had. We finally catch it, we pick up the Sharp Claw Pokemon, and of course we are going to name it. So, who are we going to call it after? Let's call it after Jiren. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel, you are our cool Sneasel for today. With this though, we can also teach it some Ice type moves. This is the reason why I went into the game corner early on, is because I wanted some good moves for later on in the run. We're going to teach it Ice Punch, we're going to teach it Blizzard. Even though it doesn't really take advantage of its its higher attack stat, it's only got quite low special attack, but still, it's going to be useful. In Blackthorn City as well, with it being the Dragon type gym leader, hopefully we're going to see some use out of Sneasel. Let's see how we do against the very first trainer. I always benchmark this guy's kind of like where we're going to have an easier time against the gym leader. Dratini's, they're not massively bad, but they do have the move Dragon Rage, which does a set 40 damage per attack. And if you get paralyzed in this fight, pretty much after about 3 turns you will be taken down. Unless you can get a Blizzard in that can one-shot. There we go. Okay, Sneasel's already starting to show its usefulness. Let's see how it does in the gym leader fight. This is easily my least favourite gym in the entire Johto region, just because of the stupid little side quest you have to do afterwards where you need to go and pick up the Dragon Fang. It is completely pointless, you will not change my mind on that. And this is Claire's supposed to be a grown woman, and yet she throws an absolute paddy by the fact that you beat her and won't accept that you beat her. And that gets played on even worse in Crystal over the Gold games. She really does not like the fact that she has lost. Either way, the Kingdra comes out and we start seeing the big flaw in this team. That is the Water type. Yes, it's not super effective against all of our team, but it is a very powerful typing to go against. We are really putting all of our hopes on our Sneasel, taking out as many of these Dragonairs as possible, but when you start off getting paralysed, you are in a bad position. Thankfully, Blizzards can do big damage, but we are going to switch into the Kingdra to try and get some chip damage, thanks to it being confused. Plus, with Umbreon's ridiculous defences, we can tank Hyper Beams like an absolute boss and take it down with Shadow Ball. That then brings back out the Dragonairs and we can Confuse Ray, hopefully tank some more damage and deal out quite a bit before Umbreon gets taken down. And flipping it, we're tanking those Thunderbolts so well. Crit finally takes us out, and that means we've got 2 Pokemon left. We're going to go back into our Sneasel, but unfortunately Paralysis means we did not get the win there. That leaves it all on Profit Lot, who with Feint Attack can deal out good consistent damage, Hopefully with a Fire Blast can seal the deal. And there we go. That is the 8th gym badge. Level cap goes up to level 42, and we can start thinking about the Pokemon League. And the Pokemon League is going to start off incredibly easy for us. Or at least you'd hope so, with it being the Psychic-type Elite Four member, Will. With having a Dark team, and to be fair, there are no other Dark-type Pokemon I can pick up before the League, we are going to have to do it with these 3 Pokemon alone. Now, you're probably wondering which 2 other Pokemon we can pick up. Well, we've already seen one in 2 other fights, but the 5th one, sorry, we're not going to see that one until very late on. And if you know your Pokemon in Gen 2, you know exactly which Pokemon I will be going for. Anyway, the final rival fight with Moro Gentle here. We finally level up to get Flamethrower, and that is a big boost to Houndoom. Reason for that? It's more accurate than Fire Blast, purely for that reason alone. 100% accuracy, powerful fire type move. We definitely needed this move over Fire Blast because, yes, Fire Blast is powerful, but I like the accuracy, it's more consistent. Let's see how we do against the first Elite Four member, Will. So Will is going to start off with his Xatu, so we're going to go straight in with our Umbreon. We're going to deal as much damage as we can with Shadow Ball because Ghost type moves are super effective against Psychic. Thankfully they actually fixed that in Gen 2. And from here we move into Executor. Umbreon is honestly a great lead Pokemon. You can understand why Karen uses it. Because it's so tanky, you can set up status effects, you can lower stats if you really want to, but Shadow Ball on an Umbreon is a great combination. That then brings in Jinx, and pretty much Umbreon on its own, underleveled, is nearly one-shotted his entire team. Shadow Ball comes out, we're hoping the Slowbro doesn't use an attacking move. We get paralysed and yeah, taken down by Body Slam, but taking out 4 Pokemon and nearly the 5th on its own. Fantastic performance from Umbreon there. Jirion then comes out and it gets taken down by Slowbro. It didn't actually manage to get an attack out. Thankfully though, Prophet Lot is speedy and can take it down with a bite. We get the first win and progress on to Koga. Now Koga, we have one Pokemon that is going to be the perfect Pokemon here, and that is going to be Prophet Lot. Prophet Lot being a sub-fire type means that more than half of his team will get taken down by super effective flamethrowers. Muck then comes out, it's going to take just under half damage from a flamethrower, and that is not a good situation because Sludge Bomb now nearly takes us out. We've got 24 HP to deal with the Crobat, and it is a very fast Pokemon, so it does take us down. Houndoom does not have the greatest defenses. Thankfully we can bring in Jiren here, and we can use Blizzard and Ice Punch to get ourselves full restores, you cheesy thing. We don't have much PP to work with Blizzard, and toxic damage does take us down. That leaves it all on Mike again to try and take it down, but we have now been toxic, and that's a bad situation. We're not dealing out all too much damage. Toxic damage is just draining us away, and Wing Attack is chipping away. We've only got one Pokemon left, but this is just not enough to deal with. So we're going to take a loss here against Koga, thanks to Toxic. Cheesy strats, but that is Koga all over. So we need to change up how we're playing this. We need to, Houndoom is definitely the best Pokemon to lead with because his first 2 Pokemon go down very, very quickly. We're going to switch to using Fire Blast as well because that'll just deal out more damage. Yes, it's less accurate, but at least we can do about half damage per hit. We take down the Muck with 2 hits and we're going to the Crobat at full HP. Meaning we can now switch to using Flamethrower, which is a half damage hit, and take it down. So yeah, all you need for this fight is a Houndoom, and it's still under-leveled to the level cap. Level cap has gone up to level 46, and now we face a big challenge. Yes, I'm actually saying Bruno is a big challenge, and that's because we are weak to the fighting type, and he has priority fighting type moves with Mach Punch. This is going to be fun. So whenever we see a dig coming our way and we need to switch into using Mike, Mike will tank those hits a lot better. And oh man, we got swaggered. You don't see that very often from the Hitmonlee. We managed to confuse him though, but we have also been hitting confusion. Double kick takes us down, and we've got 2 Pokemon to deal with his 4. We use Attract on Sneasel because it's just such a charming guy, and then we lose it pretty much straight away. Attract did not work for us there. High Jump Kick sweeps through our team, and this is a problem. We weren't even very close to taking down his entire team, and yeah, Again, we're actually going to stay... Well, no, we're going to move into the same strategy we had before where Mike tanks the damage from Dig. From here, though, we can try and just chip away at it to take it down. And we've also taught it Iron Tail for a little bit of extra coverage. This time, Double Kick comes out. We managed to confuse the Hitmonlee and it hits itself. Iron Tail's dealing out decent damage and we actually managed to lower its defenses. And then we move into Profit Lot instead of Sneasel. Profit Lot is very, very quick and manages to outspeed that Hitmonlee. And Flamethrower on the Hitmonchan gets us the burn. This is very crucial. We managed to get through to the Onix this time round. We are going to go for Fire Blast, hopefully a one-shot hit. Not just, and Profit Lot falls to an Earthquake. This leads it all to our Sneasel to try and take down the Machamp who has Cross Chop. So we're going for the attract strats. We're going for the Ice Punch. We are hoping for freezes, but no, Cross Chop comes out and we take another loss. So it's time to use some rare candies and to also level up. This time round, again, same strategy. We switch into Mike on the Dig, take it down, and we got quite a lot of HP to go into the Hitmonlee. This time, at level 43, though, we can outspeed that Hitmonlee. And this time, it doesn't get many hits in before we take it down. That brings in Hitmonchan. We know we're going to fall here, so we might as well sack off Mike here and move into Profit Lot. Mach Punch is just decimating our team, even though Hitmonchan is not that strong of a Pokemon. But what we're going to do differently here, we are going to switch into our Sneasel for the Onix. We don't want to be taken down by a ground type move, and we are going to need Houndoom if all things go bad. We start off using Attract. We've also learned Agility on level up, and we go for the Blizzard. This time round, Cross Chop still comes out again. That's not a great situation. That leaves it all up to Profit Lot. Can we take it down with a Flamethrower? We can with a critical hit. That came in clutch. But I didn't realise Bruno would be that difficult for this team. That then brings in Dark-type Trainer versus Dark-type Trainer. That is us against Karen, and she's going to be a Karen about it. We're going to go for the Fin. We're going to go for Flamethrowers on the Umbreon, take it down as quick as possible because we don't want to see accuracy drops. That then brings in Murkrow, who's very defensively weak, but Fire-type moves nearly one-shot him. We finish off with Bite, bringing ourselves into Houndoom v Houndoom. Now, what do we do here? Well, Flamethrower is probably going to be our most consistent output, but they're also going to use that move as well. It'll take 3 of our Flamethrowers to take down her Houndoom, but she manages to get one in before we take it down. So we bring Mike back in, who is going to be very defensively bulky here, but we get burned straight away. Not a great scenario here. Flamethrower's doing massive damage, Feint Attack's doing barely anything, and then she uses a Max Potion. Fantastic. We then bring in our Ice type, who is just... Yeah, as soon as a Fire type move comes out, we are a goner. We don't have great special defense, so that's another loss to Karen. Like I said, she's been a real Karen about this one, and I am not enjoying this fight. This took a while, but I was determined to beat it at this level. Third time lucky, we managed to get better luck against the Umbreon. We then bring in our Sneasel against Murkrow, and it nearly one-shots the Blizzard. We Feint Attack to get it taken down, and then bring in Houndoom. Oh, if we can get a freeze, that'd be perfect, but we can't get it, and Jiren goes down. So we're going to bring back Mike in, use the Confuse Ray. Hopefully, we don't get burnt this time round, and that's perfect. We don't see a burn this time round. We can start chipping away at Houndoom, hopefully getting some good hits in with confusion damage. But annoyingly, we're on 3 HP, we get burnt, and Mike falls again. Profit Lot versus Houndoom. How are we going to do here? Well, she uses a Max Potion, and we have to resort to Fire Blast. It's taken down to half HP, but they're only doing around about the same to us there as well. We've got the upper advantage with the amount of damage output, and we outspeed, which is perfect. That then brings in the Gengar, which we can use Feint Attack to nearly one-shot it, but it takes itself out with Curse. And Vileplume's last 2 goes to a Fire Flamethrower. So, that's how you beat Karen. It's a lot of RNG, which I hate relying on, but you know what? What else can you do? Finally, the champion Lance. Level cap is level 50, and we've got 3 Pokemon very under level compared to his team. Hopefully Mike can tank a lot of damage and not get hit by... Wow, we actually managed to take out Gyarados by confusing damage and Shadow Ball alone. We don't outspeed the Dragonite though, which is very bad news. We can tank Hyper Beams, but Paralysis just screws us over here. So we're going to rely on our fast Ice type, who cannot hit a Blizzard to save his life. My god. Oh, Profit Lock. I don't know if it's got enough to deal with here. Flamethrower is not doing much damage on Dragon types. And he's got 4 other Pokemon after this one to contend with. Our defenses are bad and we take a lot of damage from Hyper Beam. But, yeah, we don't outspeed the Aerodactyl either. This is looking bad. But we do have some levels we can work with, and we push our team up to level 50 to see if this is possible with these 3 Pokemon. We get pretty good luck against the Gyarados, and this time we've also taught Mike Rest to keep its HP up. And that's very key because with it being such a defensively bulky Pokemon, it is an unbelievable move to have Rest on your moveset with an Umbreon. That also means we can take out more of his Pokemon before we get taken down. We can get rid of any paralysis and HP, so we can actually get back up to full HP before Hyper Beams come in, and they're only doing about a quarter of our damage. We take down the second Dragonite pretty comfortably. We confuse it again. My god. Umbreon is just a cheese monster, really. Like, with Confuse Ray, Rest, Shadow Ball, like, it's a good moveset to be using. Aerodactyl is out next. We've taken down half his team with just Umbreon alone, and he uses Hyper Beam again. Thank god we can tank him like a boss. This also means we can get rid of Paralysis, we can tank more Hyper Beams, get him confused, Shadow Ball to deal out consistent damage, but we're on low HP going into the next Pokemon. Charizard is going to come out, and we don't outspeed, and Flamethrower takes out Mike. If we'd have been more clever about it, we would have been able to take down his Charizard as well, if we timed our rests perfectly. Thankfully, Profit Lock can take it down with bites, and now we are getting great flinch on the Dragonite. We managed to take that down. That just leaves, well, that's it. We have beaten the Johto region with a mono dark type team, and not even a full mono dark type team. Sneasel, Houndoom and Umbreon, Mike, Profit Lot and Jiren, you did fantastic there. But that's not the end of the game. We still have the post game to go, and of course you can see there we have 2 team slots that we want to fill. So who are we going to go pick up? Well, these 2 Pokemon you can only get in the post game. The first one, of course, is going to go and beat Murkrow, which you get just outside of Celadon City to the east of it. You can pick it up in the patch of grass at night time. Yes, it is crucial. There has to be night time again. And we can pick up our 4th member of the team. But it also means that we are not going to go and pick up our 5th team member yet. We need to go and beat all 8 gyms of Kanto before we can, because the 5th member of our team is going to be locked in Mount Mortar. Our Murkrow is going to be called a Dove. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. And let's head into the 8th gym of the Kanto region to take on Blue. I only show the blue and red fights on these videos just because the others, you're so over level by that point, it's really negligible. It really is not important. So, going against Blue, we have 4 Pokemon to work with here. Who can we win this fight with? Well, Pidgeot is going to go down to our Profit Lot. We've also learned to move Crunch on level up. And when Rhydon comes out, we're going to switch over to Jiren, who hopefully could try and get a Blizzard out, but again, it misses it. So we're going to switch into our Dove, our Murkrow, and use Icy Wind, but annoyingly, Rock Slide is still a one-shot. A lot of Dark-type Pokemon, apart from Umbreon, are very defensively weak. Thankfully, Profit Lock can come back in and take down the Rhydon, and then also contend against the Gyarados, but Hydro Pump comes out and one-shots us from that range, leading it all on Mike to try and take down maybe 4 or 5 gym team members here. Yeah, thankfully with the rest strats we can create some longevity in this fight. We're going to waste all of his full restores as well. But Shadow Ball only has a certain amount of PB to work with, and then we'll have to rely on Feint Attack. Next coming out is going to be the Arcanine. There are 3 Pokemon left to go. As soon as we can get it confused, we're in a good position. We can rest back up to full HP, but Flamethrower and a Burn nearly take us out. Thankfully, Rest came in right at the crucial time, but it is not confused, and we are losing damage very, very quickly. And this is going to be a loss because we can't wake up in time and we can't rest in time. So unfortunately, Mike does go down. We need to try again. So what do we do differently here? Well, we don't even need to be the level cap to beat this fight. We need to get better luck on the first incoming Pokemon. Profilot's still the greatest lead we've got here for his team. And instead of moving into Sneasel, we are going to stay in with Profilot. Yes, it is weak to Rock Slide and Earthquake, but it can deal out a lot of damage. Really, the only other Pokemon that makes sense for our Houndoom to be used against is going to be the Executor later on. The Dwarf comes in and can tank a Hyper Beam. Because it is a fast Pokemon as well, it can deal out a lot of damage before being taken down, leaving enough for Jiren to come into and use Slash to get the win there. So, once the Arcanine comes in, we are going to try for better luck here. We get the Confuse Ray off straight away, hits itself Confusion, and Shadow Balls come out. Flamethrower then does decent damage, and the next turn, to be fair, if we hadn't got a crit there, we would have had to rest up, and that critical hit was so crucial. Executor is weak to the Dark type, with it being a part Psychic type, so we don't have too much to worry about because we can tank Solar Beams pretty comfortably. Sun also isn't up, so even if we needed to, we can just rest back up. So unless he decides to set up the Sun, we're in a good position. We're going to hopefully let Confusion damage deal out enough. It's not working all too well right now, so we're just going to go for it really. Once we Confuse Ray again, Solar Beam hits us one more time and decide to rest up again. But at some point, he's going to run out of Solar Beam PP. It's going to take a little while though, because Solar Beam's got 10 PP to work with and it takes 2 turns to hit unless you've got Sunny Day. So I kind of get bored and I just go for Feigned Attack to take it down. That just leaves the Alakazam, who in vain sets up a Reflect, but Dark type I think hits... Does it hit specially in this generation? I'm pretty sure it does, which means Reflect is kind of pointless for it. We hit it down with Shadow Ball and we take a win against Blue, meaning the level cap now whoppingly jumps up to level 81, and we go to Mount Morty to pick up our Larvitar, because even though Larvitar is not a Dark type Pokemon, its final evolution is. Our Larvitar is going to be named after MC Manpower. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. And I think that is very aptly named for a Tyranitar, which is what we are going to evolve it into after Pupitar. Takes a while to level up Larvitar into Tyranitar, but trust me, it is so worth it. Progressing through Mount Morty, we have one more challenge before the end of this video, and of course that is going to be Red, the Pokemon Master. That's if Onyx don't get out of our way. So, which Pokemon do we start off with? We're going to start off with Jiren and hopefully try for the Cursed Rest strats. Annoyingly though, I realised pretty quickly this isn't going to work at this level because he's going to keep using Charm and Thunders do ridiculous damage. We will not be able to tank enough of them. What I should be starting off with, of course, is Tyranitar, because Pikachu cannot hit it with Thunder type moves. Oh wait, it can, but it can tank them a lot better. When the Venusaur comes in, we are going to use Adore to get around the Solar Beams by using Fly. Yes, Fly is having its utility in this fight, and the Venusaur can't do a single thing to us. That then brings in Blastoise, and who do we switch into? Well, Tyranitar would be a bad choice here, Houndoom would be a bad choice. We're actually going to stick in with our Murkrow that gets taken out by one hit. Probably should have kept that for later. Okay, we're going to switch into Mike, who can tank hits so much better than any of our team, and we're going to go for the Flash strats. Yes, we actually are using Flash strats here. If we can reduce its accuracy down, we can take it down in our own time. Surfs are doing big damage to us, and we need to hope that he misses here, which he doesn't. So we have 2 Pokemon left to try and take on the rest of his team. Surf then hits MC Manpower and one-shots us. This Blastoise, didn't think this would be the Pokemon we had to worry about. Flamethrower is doing barely anything at all, and yeah, I decided to reset there. So we went up to level 65, and at level 65 we managed to get 2 lucky returns in before we switch into Charizard. Now the reason why I stayed in with Sneasel is because this is actually key. We wanted to bring in his Charizard early so that we can then tank its hits with Tyranitar. Rock Slide is quite effective to a Charizard, and we can take down one of the scariest members of his team. Because we're going in with certain Pokemon, his AI is going to try and send in the next Pokemon, which is super effective. We know that a Adore can easily tank Solar Beams and take its Venusaur down with 2 hits. That then brings in the Blastoise, and this is again the worst Pokemon matchup we've got in this entire team for this team. We then switch back into Jiren, who can actually tank the hits a bit better because with the ice typing, he's going to use Whirlpool of all things. Yeah, 2 returns will take it down, and then that brings in Snorlax. Now Snorlax is going to be a weird one to take down, and we'd decide to let Sneasel fall. We decide to bring in our Tyranitar and use Screech 3 times to lower its defenses by 6 points. Because it uses Body Slam, we can tank that being a rock type, and then Earthquake will one-shot the Snorlax. That then brings in Espeon, who is cowering in his boots at the back because with it being a Psychic type, it cannot stand up to the might of the Dark type. We managed to get 2 crunches in, hopefully, before we take it down. And at level 65, we beat Red with his over-leveled team. I'm happy with this one. The Dark type is a fun type to be using in Johto. It's got a lot of interesting fights, a lot of good matchups. So yeah, I recommend this one. Let's give a big thank you to our team for today. Jiren the Sneasel, MC Manpower the Tyranitar, Mike of all things, the Umbreon, Adorv the Murkrow, and Prophet Lot, our starter Pokemon, the Houndoom. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Welcome to the channel if I've never featured you before. And I hope you join me for the next video coming up tomorrow, which I'm not going to tell you which one it is. You're just going to have to find out tomorrow morning. So yeah, we finished this at 10 hours, 13 minutes. If you're enjoying the channel so far in the month of our December, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends, and we will see you tomorrow for another monotype run. Take care.